It's a package from China with some love. Maybe an inflatable girlfriend. Who knows? Stay tuned. Hey, welcome back. We're going to be doing a little bit of a chit-chat about the U36. The very nice looking orange game box. So I'm really curious because we're going to be having a professional game chip again. Dual rocker control, 2.4G wireless. You know, I'm very curious about this. We do have like an LED that signals display lamp, okay. So let's see what we're getting inside of this particular one, because I do like the color. There are a couple of different ones, but I thought this orange looking one was pretty cool. Now, they're having this two-theme color situation, and here we're going to be finding the dongle. The dongle is going to be connected in here. Yeah, there we go. So in here we're going to be having all kinds of similar stuff that we've seen before. USB-C is going to be using for, like, say, powering on. We're going to be needing it in a separate 5-volt adapter, I think 5 volt 2 amps. So then we're having the controller configuration, and the controllers are like going to be in hit or miss nowadays. So when it comes to the D-pad is a little bit similar to the PlayStation 4. So that's why I actually ripped it off, and the overall feel is not bad. So let's see how the inputs are throughout the video. So we do have like these analog sticks. They're like really cheap plastic, but we do have like rubberized. So, but the feel is very comfortable, very sturdy. The back buttons are nice. And they are not like really triggers, they're just membranes underneath. The ABXY feel okay. So battery compartment do need to AAA. However, when we're going to be having two controller configuration and the toilet paper cardboard. Yeah. There's not like a manual anymore. I think I'm complaining too much on their manuals, but that's actually how you need to connect it. Super simple, HDMI to an, they're saying it 5 volt 2 amp mobile phone charging is required. So they're not going to be giving us today. And yeah, simple explanation how you need to plug it in. And I must say that this manual is more than enough, because that's actually how easy it is. So let's hook it up. Let's see if it's even working. So this is not like really a stick anymore. So what we're going to be doing is plugging this thing in. So HDMI is connected. Then we're going to be plugging in over here the dongle. LED is indeed turning on. Control has been plugged in, ready to go. So let's see what's going on. How does it work? Going to having the Gamebox intro logo. And I want to say it's going to be bad or good, because with the simple reason you never know. Oh yeah, the intro. The V8 Hypermix. Okay, that's going to be the new thing. So let's see if we can actually get this thing to work. It's done loading. Let's see if it's going to be working. I don't see any LEDs. I know for a fact my batteries are not empty. No, I don't notice anything weird. Okay. Do I need to get new batteries? What? What the heck is going on with this? Those are rechargeable, so let's plug this in. Yep, there are the batteries. Oh, we go with that crazy situation with all of the bleeping, and so pressing start home. I wanted to check it out, what's going on. Both controllers are plugged in, ready to go. So how they actually indicate which play you want to play to. So it's going to be having the LEDs over here. So this is controller number 1. But I'm a little bit bummed out, because when it comes to the overall configuration, in other game sticks we can get into the menu, but that doesn't work at all. Or just press like a start. Oh, that's weird. But let's see, we can change the controller. Lock settings. Let's go. AAA, BB, AA, or BB, AAA, BB, or something like that. AAA, BB, AAA, or was it AAA, BB, AAA? I don't know, man. No, didn't do anything. Okay, both controllers are connected, so you can actually see over here that it will indicate what controller is what. So the green one is the play 1, this is the play 2. So for getting into the special menu, you need to press select and start over here. And then we're going to be having emulation settings. And we can unlock. And in here we can actually unlock it if you want to. But I think it was something of AAA, BB, AA, or BB, AAA, BB, or something. I don't know, man. I need to check it out. I don't know what it was anymore. But then you kind of get into the menu and mess around, and also shut down the freaking music. We're back. Let's see if it's going to be working. AAA, BA. And if that doesn't work, it's going to be B, 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 A, B. Ah, there we go. So, and that's the reason why you need to mess around with that, because sometimes it's messing around the A and B. Woo, it's unlocked. Great. So let's see. It's still select and start. Okay, that's weird. However, I think the settings, but the first thing we're going to be doing is going to the sound settings, front-end music, turn it off. Okay, much better. Moving on to, let's say, some other stuff over here. We can mess around with the danger zone. Getting into the danger zone. But over here we're going to be having all kinds of game aspect ratio can be changed out. Controller settings that we already had. UI settings. And the only thing I do find interesting is, I can remember there was like an other option where we can deep dive into the overall software, where we can see what kind of, it was like system settings, information. It's quite limited actually. But it does actually say like S95 when it comes to the chipset, running 47 Celsius. I've been running for some time now actually. And version 3.9 when it comes to, let's say, the overall EmuElec. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It says over here EmuElec 4.3, but if you're going to be getting into the information, it says 3.9. So this is some weird spoofed edition. But when it comes to the emulation, and what can we do with this? So there is actually a lot that we can play. We're having some handheld 8-bit, 16-bit. It's absolutely nuts how much we can play with this. It's an insane amount. Unfortunately, we don't have like these defaults, so Odyssey doesn't have like an overall thumbnail, or at least like a picture for the platform. So where it is a little bit messed up here and there, we can play a lot. But let's dive into some gaming and let's see what can we play. The list itself is absolutely strange. We do have some screenshots, no videos. But personally, I don't really like the overall layout of this thing. It's very chaotic. PlayStation port of my emulation, it's pretty good at this point. So when you're going to be looking into this, it's absolutely awesome to see what you can play with this. I do hear some weird things going on when it comes to the dipping. You can see like dips to 4112 frames per second. So it's quite interesting. I just wanted to see how it goes through, say, the overall emulation performance. I do see some glitching going on. But let's see what's going on with the overall, let's say, gameplay. But in game, the performance is quite good. Running 60 frames. Of course, this isn't not like the most demanding game out there. We can always get into the settings, mess around with it. Let's see, frame skipping has been set off, but we can mess around with that if you want to, if you're going to be needing, if some games are not running like it's supposed to be. But that's kind of cool that you still have the option to get into the menu itself. Alright, this is running some really old school tech. N64 is a very difficult emulation machine to run on these, let's say, basic boxes with some glitch and everything, but I must say that I'm surprised overall how well this actually works out. Where it's running on some native resolution, looks absolutely hideous, and I'm just playing this on a 24-inch display. At this point, I must say that I am surprised how well this works. But the weird thing is we don't have like this craziness. The menu is kind of messy. I mean, we're still using RetroArch part of it. Not like a big problem. We can make like quick load, quick save, but some emulators just have the option to press twice and go back to the menu itself. But of course we have like more demanding games. And Cruising the USA, for example, is not on here. We do have the World Edition that will be running just fine. But another thing is, of course, GoldenEye. That is another one very difficult to emulate on the N64. Oh, the logo. Everything looks so really pixelated. Hey, we don't have the glitch that we see normally. So it's kind of cool to actually see we can actually boot up N64 now with those really cheap game stick thingies. So it's interesting to see that it can still actually produce these things. And I mean, particularly when it comes to producing, is creating something that is not like really expensive. But you can see all kinds of glitches over there. Another question is, how did they map the controls? They mapped it perfectly for the right joystick. But the controls, I must say that you can see that they're like really sensitive. Cursor over here, shooting. You can actually hear there is some little bit of dips. But I would say like it's enjoyable. Let's put it this way, frame per second, it's enjoyable. Who needs a sniper? If you have auto aiming in a game. Let's go a little bit further. So this looks absolutely hideous. It is playing quite well. Who needs a machine gun? We have the PP7! Woohoo! Let's go with some Burning Road Arcade, but oh man, every single game I seem to be booting up has no background music. I've been trying Ridge Racer, tried all kinds of different games, and you know, they keep not adding them. And I know because it will, like these games are maybe like 80 megabytes or 150 megabytes. In this case, you can slap up a crazy amount of different games on one single card. If you don't mind that, it's fine. But emulation performance is nowadays quite good when it comes to the overall, let's say, PlayStation part. So I've been reviewing all kinds of mini PCs. What I love about those mini PCs that we can is actually like upscale it to like 1080p or so, like crazy upscaling, where it's going to be looking so much less pixelated. But out of this box, let's see, still going to have the same menu for making quick load, quick save, cheating and everything else. Widescreen shenanigans, but we can actually play the Neo Geo games. We do have like maybe the option to get into the menu to deep dive. But I think when it comes to these game stakes, we're already at the point that these things run perfectly when it comes to shmups and so. It's crazy if you think about it, that we needed to have like an original Neo Geo to play these games or have like a modified Xbox to actually have some really cool overall experience. Wow, wicked, that was a really good gameplay. So when it comes to, let's say, Super NES and those systems, I must say now with these EmuElec devices, it can be played without any problem. So I don't want to focus too much on these kind of videos. Simple reason because I'm more like, you know, it's one of those games that can play, but this is more than enough. But 16-bit Rhythm Land. Okay, that's cool. You will find the most wicked games ever, you know, on these devices. The Running Girl, Music Basement, Melody Shield, Earth Crisis. Okay. Let's see what's going on. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. Oh, there we go. This is like a different way of playing. This is kind of cool. Rhythm games on the 16-bit. That's absolutely cool. Autonomous Wave, another awesome system. Well, not like a lot of games, what I understand of. But the overall emulation, it's going to be in hit or miss. With some games like Dolphin Blue, it's going to be stuttering, but some simple fighting games can be played. Heaven or Hell Duel. Man, I played this game so much. The emulation performance seems to be working absolutely awesome. And also the D-pad on this controller is absolutely awesome. Got all of the same kind of situation. Saving state. Just take up a lot of time. Load. Okay, there we go. But when it comes to playing some old school games, I already mentioned before now, is that it runs perfectly. But I still want to do a little bit of a peek in the Sega CD, because it's such an amazing system. I love to play Sonic CD and Final Fantasy CD on my original hardware. But this is just fun to actually mess around. Because Sega CD is something we don't see very often either with the Sega 32X. We do have like some random game sticks that had this option, or like really expensive, say, plug and play solutions, but most of them don't even bother, let's say, having that on the system. So that's absolutely a cool extra addition. So when it comes to play some Dreamcast, also here on native resolution, I just wanted to try quickly like some Dead Alive 2. But this seems to be working okay. I do see some minor frame dips because I've played this game so much. But the overall performance is absolutely enjoyable. You can hear it from the voice itself that it stutters, but it's absolutely an enjoyable situation. But then overall, I'm going to be looking at the complete situation. Okay, we didn't test every single platform, but I can tell you the way if you're going to be unlocking it, we can tweak stuff that didn't work. And I must say that I'm really enjoying myself with, let's say, the overall situation here. So there's still a lot of things that can be tweaked and be improved. But if you're going to be at, let's say, the high-end emulation that we normally need to pay, we pay premium price for, some of them have some overall decent, let's say, performance. And for just a plug-and-play situation, it's insane what you're getting nowadays. Okay, so first off, let's get myself some better lighting. Let's hook up the extra lamps over here. There we go. Number 2. That's much better. But let's open it up and let's see what we're getting in the inside. So it's kind of funny to say that this is like a game stick, because normally the idea was like to stick it in something, but there was nothing of a sticking going on because we're just going to be actually just connecting a cable. I will need to be very careful. Oh man, this is such a pain to actually open up sometimes. I think I opened it up on the wrong side. There we go. Don't want to ruin it too much. I think I already did messing it up slightly. There we go. And there we go. Then we can open it up. But the reason why I'm opening it up, I wanted to see what's happening in the inside. So what our chips are we getting? So it's getting really hot. I think the problem with these devices is like 2 things. First, the SD card you should back up with a program through your PC, and cooling wise, there is not much going on over here. So they're actually using S95X4 chip in here. So that would explain actually why everything is running quite okay. I mean, particularly on M64, because those chips are so much, I want to say so much better, but if you're going to be comparing it with the first generation of sticks and everything that we're using, the S95M, this is absolutely an improvement. However, this is what it is. So I just wanted to do a quick overview. So I understand they're like limited when it comes to the overall, let's say, cooling method, because this is just seriously like just a piece of metal they're putting on there. Let's put it back. It's of course better than nothing, but I think at this point, I think we need to have like an overall better solution there. So if they can figure out the bigger, I won't say like an extra fan, because I think it's going to be making a lot of noise, but I think they should add like way bigger, let's say, cooling method, because if you can looking at the size and everything, there's still a little bit of room there. And of course the SD cards, they need to use like Samsung, Kingston, SanDisk, like real brands, so you know, so this thing doesn't heat up or cook the SD card, or the SD card gets corrupted because it's like really bad overall quality. Because if you're going to be reading and writing all the time with quick load, quick save, it's possible you're going to be messing this part up. The U36, I actually ordered multiple devices, and you know, sometimes you're going to be having a glitch in a Matrix because it's going to be in different name, different kind of color, maybe even a little bit of different form factor, but still going to be seeing the same kind of software. However, I must say that they didn't mess it up in many different ways like they do normally. So when it comes to the controllers, I must say that these things are enjoyable. I mean, they play quite nice, and I must say that I am kind of excited to actually see that they're using normal controllers, no vibrator motors. It's like back to the basics. So configuration with the one single dongle is still the same. And the game stick, if they're going to be improving the overall quality of the cooling and SD card, I think we're going to be having something really interesting. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of the game stick like this? Do you think it's worth it? Or do you just want to build yourself something else that is maybe the same amount of a little bit more expensive but have a way better performance? Thank you all, and it would be great to see you in the next one.